Are you happy at work? Is there something you wish the people running your office would change to improve your feelings about the job? A new survey gauged the happiness and frustrations of workers across the U.S. and Canada. And here to tell us the results is Paul McDonald, Senior Executive Director of the Robert Half Staffing Company. Hi, Paul. Great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So this was a fairly widespread study. How many workers did you poll?
We actually polled within the United States and Canada 12,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
It is. And, we wanted to broaden the base, not just do a couple hundred, but we wanted a real good look at happiness and what makes workers happy in the workforce, because they deserve to be happy.
And if there was one overall takeaway, what did you find?
Well, we found that 71% of the people we polled were happy at work.
That's good news.
That was really good news, especially, and this was done in July of this year. And we found that, the different segments of the workforce, we cover accounting and finance, technology folks, legal, creative, and high-end administrative staffing individuals.
And where in general did you find the happiest workers and the least happy workers?
Well, within those sectors, surprising, right? One thing that we pulled away was finance and accounting folks feel least appreciated.
Interesting.
Okay, and the takeaway for that, for an employer, is, if you're have your staff under a lot of deadline, accounting and finance folks and compliance on both sides of the border has been increasing. They feel underappreciated. So go give a little pat on the back, give a little spot bonus if that's appropriate, to help them feel appreciated.
Right. And so then who feels the happiest in their job?
Yeah, and that was a good one too, because sales, in marketing and creative individuals, I'd say focus on the creative individuals. They have a little idea of how they can express themselves.
They feel they have a little more control, maybe.
Control, yeah, and they feel more invested.
Yeah.
Okay, in the product. So they came out the happiness.
And you found, not surprisingly, C-suite executives are also pretty satisfied.
Well, I would say that individuals, in the boomer category and in the C-suite or senior executive category were the happiest. They had the most control.
Interestingly, though, Gen X is not so happy.
Well, Gen X, it's a good takeaway too, because you have boomers that are relatively happy, right? Less responsibility, a little less stress. Okay, you have millennials that feel they want a sense of respect and accomplishment, and they are getting that, by the way.
Right.
Okay,
right.
But the sandwiched in between is Gen X. Okay, 35 to 54-year-olds that may feel as though they're underappreciated.
Interesting. We keep getting back to this theme of feeling appreciated. It seems to be a real key takeaway, at least for employers.
Yes.
Right, on how to make your...
Well, it's appreciation, it's respect, it's being treated fairly, it's open and honest communication that it will take care of the 29%.
Right.
That help them move into the happiness category.
What about pride in your work and pride for the organization?
Right. Well, and that all-encompassing, if all those other factors that I mentioned before are present, they feel proud. They feel pride of ownership, pride of knowing what the vision is of the organization.
Right.
So if you're an executive or a department manager, create the vision on a regular basis to help the engagement and retention of those employees.
A culture that breeds happiness.
Yeah.
Interestingly, you also found that employees of smaller companies are happier than employees of larger companies.
Yeah, and that was not surprising to me, because when you look at companies of 10 or less, it's back to that sense of control. They can influence decision making. There's a clear path to the ownership or to the management. So the takeaway is, if you're mid or a large company, try and structure your departments or your divisions so that there's open and free-forming communication up and down the org chart, so people feel bought in.
Right. And you did also find there was a gender difference.
Oh, yes. Yep. Men, are a little happier than women. And the takeaway there is, when I looked at the female population, maybe a little more stress. Responsibilities outside of work, responsibilities at work, children potentially. And on the men's side, I guess the takeaway is give a little help at home.
Right, yeah, there you go. There you go. The happiness can spread all around.
Right.
All right, Paul, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Tanya.